Hey, welcome to the theater, the stage where ambitious producers make stuff that just hits a little different. So, you made a fire melody, a sick bass line, some nasty synths, maybe some gritty textures, but you go to play it back and it's just chaos, a beautiful mess. What do? Well, today we're going to dial that in. We're going to share 4 production techniques that'll turn your mixes from this to this. Filtering, spectrum, stereo field, and finally arrangement, where everything just clicks in. So stick around, because that last step might just be what your mixes have been missing. Alright, let's get it.
I do damage, can't stand it. Psycho bandit, like it's Marilyn Manson. Got the cash advance it, give it Sprite and enhance it. Pull the walk out the pantry.
Okay, if you've been watching our videos, you know we're all about stacks on stacks. Layers, textures, effects, depth in general. But here's what nobody's telling you about layering. More isn't always more. But if you're like us, you generate tons of material. It's just how you work. When everything starts fighting for that space, you lose the emotional center, the thing that makes someone stop and really listen. Curating takes discipline and guts. It means killing your darlings, moving beautiful parts to make room for the essential ones. Sometimes destroying entire sections to let one element breathe. But you need material first, and if you're diligent with both the generation and curation, the quality of your end product becomes inevitable. So let's embody that fearlessness and take that first step. My go-to instrument is the bass. Alright, I'm on my take 5, and I see the bass. I'm kind of a drums guy, so I see the bass as like my first conversation with the 808. Simple, iconic. This kind of bass line draws an artist in because there's a massive pocket to work with. This is thick as hell. That's a blessing and a curse.
One of the quickest ways to clean up a mix is just filter stuff. I'm not talking about just throwing an auto filter on it and calling it a day. I'm talking about deciding what frequencies a sound deserves to take up. Does that pad have too much low end? Roll it off. If a hi-hat is harsh up top, tame it. It's less about EQ for sound, more about EQ for space. That mindset alone can fix a lot of clutter.
Okay, I'm always searching for movement here. Watch this. Rolling the cutoff open over 8, 16 bars gives it so much natural breathing that the track is actually alive. Okay, now we're in the box. And I'm dialing in some saturation and murk. Okay, we're building cinematic sound here, so we know we're gonna have a lot of bottom end to manage. So here I'm just ducking it in, just trying to manage that bottom end murk. Okay, I pulled our MIDI down to our 808 to establish that rhythm from the jump. I put it on our 808s from the free multi-kit. The prologue pack, link in description, cop it, get it. Okay, let's beef these up. Brought in Tone Architect. Oh, this really shapes that low-end aggression. But you know what? I want to kind of dial this in so it has a crescendo built into it. Okay, watch this. I'm using Shaper Box to post some filtering on the 808s that reveals that beautiful distortion capability. Hear it? Now breeze. That's control within the chaos. This is a good foundation, but we need to propose a lead, sound, melody. The original track had this insane King Metallic guitar sample. Basically the entire song compressed into one loop. So I gotta build something that can hold the same gravitational weight on its own. Okay, I pulled the MIDI over and popped it on the guitar and pushed it up a couple octaves.
The frequency spectrum is like a skyline. You can build high and low and anything in between. But if you start to stack too many things in one space, it gets crowded and heavy. Sometimes it's just picking a sound that lives in a different register. Other times you can pitch a sound up or down, or throw halftime on it, get a whole new vibe. The point is, don't just layer your sounds. Think about the frequency spectrum so that they complement instead of compete.
Here I'm using War March again from Ample Guitar as the foundation. And I'm putting some Pan Man on it. And now I'm popping on Effectrix, and it gives it that kind of filthy vibe. Gives it that distorted, digitalized quality. I'm using 2 instances of Decimort here, and just playing with that digital effect. And then just put a little bit of auto on this joint to get that distortion to really come alive. Now remember, we're thinking scenes here, so as we get towards the end of this guitar section, we need to start asking ourselves, what's essential? What serves the emotion? What is just noise?
Oh, but I love this noise. Let's keep the party going.
Ain't fly, looking dummy. I'll probably get fried. I look like a mummy. I'm getting this cash. It's Monday to Sunday. I guess you won't talk if it ain't about the money. My boys in the trap and they jump like a bunny. Got pounds of it ain't nothing funny. I fall on the side and I keep it calm. If I gotta reach up, I'ma keep it down.
When I'm dancing, she bop like a plan B. She look like a candle, booted up in the car seat. Walk my house, look like I'm in place. Walk in the strip, she gon' make it buzz.
So all my guitars are built off of a piano with just a simple amp modeling. I'm using Amp Hub. It's really nice. So it can take a piano and make it sound like this. All that fuzzy imperfection. And then a little reverb. Puts it in that ethereal space. I like it. I built a riser out of one of my guitar layers. It adds hype and energy that's already in the vibe and the sound of your song and in the key. So check this out. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these parts yet, but I'm just generating. I'm building. I'm not worrying about it.
I feel like we still need something that's more modern, experimental. Here I'm on the take 5. We have some really interesting sounds I made. Okay, these are just rich textures, glitches, noise. But you always want to play these to engage the sound feel.
Once your layers are sounding good vertically, start thinking sideways. The stereo field is where you can add size and movement without adding to the clutter. Duplicate a lead, then pan the copies left and right, and tweak the timing and tone of each just a little bit so that it feels wild and alive. Or keep one element dead center, then take another sound and spread it out so that it adds movement and modulation. These moves can create intensity and fullness, but they don't add layers to the stack.
Here I got this retro synth stack. It's new from Nightbox. I put some effectrics on it too. Just let it bounce around a little.
They fly, they looking dummy. I'll probably get fried. I look like a mummy. I'm getting this cash. It's Monday to Sunday. I guess you want to talk if it ain't about the money. My boys in the trap and they jump like a bunny. Got pounds of it ain't nothing funny. Up on the side and I keep it coming. If I gotta reach up, I'ma keep it down. Where
Brought in those passes from the take 5, just building up that lushness, giving us lots of material to get to the arrangement.
Sometimes a mix isn't broken, it's just the arrangement. You might have two great ideas competing for the same space. This is where everything we've covered, filtering, spectrum, stereo, all comes together. Figure out where each sound belongs, not just in space, but in time. All right, I've got everything in here now. Looks like a lot, but let's play it down and see what we got. I think we've got too much and too many parts, but we're used to that. So what we like to do is kind of listen, sort, and curate before we do anything too technical. So I think I'll turn off Dre's layers for this section here, and probably this lead here. Let's get rid of that. All right, now let's listen to it. Yeah. Feels like a breakdown comes after this. We're almost doing a call and response with our own stuff here. And let's kill most of these drums. But we'll keep the open hats. Keep a little groove going. Yeah, those cymbals. Just having an acapella in as we arrange and even when we compose, you're automatically making space for an artist by putting one in ahead of time.
I do damage, can't stand it. Psycho, bandit, like it's Marilyn Manson.
Alright, let's build up this intro just a little bit.
Ride the hallway, ride the bus.
And right here, what I'm going to do is simply halftime it.
Ride the hallway, ride the bus. Walk my house, look like I'm in plus. Walk in the strip, she gon' make you buzz.
The good thing about generating so much is that when it comes time to edit yourself, you create this distance, and that distance divorces you a bit from the preciousness, lets you be ruthless, and that's key. So that's the breakdown. 4 ways to shape your sound, control that chaos, and level up your mixes. And if you want to experiment with these techniques right now, grab our free multi-kit, the Prologue Pack, links in the description. And remember, create fearlessly, curate ruthlessly. All right, peace.
gone outside of the window of the vehicle.